TOS fans, Robin here, and I'm back again with yet another deck review for you. This week I'm playing the Chosen Axes, which I haven't played for quite a while. I used to really enjoy playing them before the Fast Riders and the Fiends came out, and it's been all about those guys recently. I haven't played a matchup with the Chosen Axes yet, so I'm going to play them this week, which I'm quite looking forward to. I haven't gone with the quite successful deck I had with the keys in it, which worked really quite well. I haven't gone for that. I think the meta shifted slightly away from that. I think at the time, I think all the cards had just come out when I played that, but I don't think we were quite familiar with some of the intricacies of it, and I think I was perhaps a trifle fortunate to get away with that. But so I haven't played that tonight. I have a little bit in mind that I'm playing the Fiends, but not a lot. I'm trying to, again, as usual, trying to make it as generic as possible. But we have gone faction for this match as well, which for those of you who aren't aware means that a third of our objectives will come from the Chosen Axes faction. Half of my ploys and half of my upgrades will also come from the Chosen Axes faction. Now, I have actually gone for 11 upgrades and ploys this time because I just could not decide what to leave out. It was making my head hurt. So I've gone for, I've got 5 upgrades which belong to the Chosen Axes, and 6 ploys, which is perhaps a little bit cheating because the ploys do tend to be a little bit better than the upgrades, but it is still 50-50 across the whole power card range. Pete said he was happy with that, so that's how I've gone. So without further ado, here's the deck. A Grim Promise is my first objective, and in that card basically means by taking an enemy leader out. It's a good one for the Chosen Axes, that card. There's going to be a lot of leader hunting, there's going to be a lot of fighting against the Fiends, so hopefully I can score that. And similarly, a Ferocious Charge, which means if I take a friendly fighter out with a charge action, again I'll be going for that. Hoarders, wasn't sure about Hoarders. Score this in an enemy phase, all your fighters, and no enemy fighters are holding objectives. This is one of those cards I would love to score, a bit like making a statement. And I guess against the Fiends there's more chance than any because they're really, really unlikely to be going for objectives. And maybe towards the end when Pete's hacked me down, maybe I can pinch Hoarders. We will see. And Unstoppable Advance, this goes well with a lot of Chosen Axes cards, but basically it's 2 glory and it's getting 2 men into your opposing territory. It goes well with Conquest and other cards like that, and Conquest is in the deck as you'll see in a moment. Alone in the Darkness, again I think everybody's going to get thinned out in this battle, and I do like Alone in the Darkness anyway, so that's in there. Blooded, score this in phase. All your survivor fighters, at least 3, have at least 1 wound token. Well, now, it will be difficult if you didn't have Shargale in your deck, which I do. Chosen Champion. Chosen Champion, I think I will hopefully score this. I think upgrades are likely to go on Fjul or Tefk, but we shall see. Conquest, because it goes well with Unstoppable Advance. Escalation, because I think there's going to be a lot of ploys playing in this game. Master of War, for similar reasons. I do like a Master of War, tends to be in my deck. Ploymaster as well. These are all my kind of go-to cards. It's perhaps this is a little dull, but anyway, there's Ploymaster 2, and then finally Scent of Victory, which is if all enemy fighters are wounded. And again, it goes well with Shargale. Fully expecting Pete to run Shargale too, so it could get interesting. But Shargale is in my deck, and I could use it to score either Scent of Victory or Blooded. Let's see. Moving over to the ploys, I have Oathsworn. So this is going to be a very violent deck is my plan. And it's going to be get everybody as inspired, or as many people inspired as I can in the first turn, and then go for attacking. So Oathsworn plays a friendly fight attack action that fails. That time when you finally charge Fjul in and he's only got 2 hammers and he misses, then Oathsworn could be very useful for me. It's another attack to attack the same fighter. So obviously I won't be pushing back, but I will hopefully be attacking again. And then I have Piercing Stare. The enemy fighter cannot make an attack action or a charge action in the next activation. Again, could be pretty useful, but we will see. Slaying Blow. Now this one looks really fun. The first attack action in the next activation is a critical hit, double its damage characteristic. Well, you never know, do you? How fun would that be to do a whopping 8 damage with Fjul? You could score whatever the big one is himself, but I haven't got that in my deck, so we won't be able to score it, but that will be quite good fun. The Earth Shakes. Choose a fighter and push them 1 hex. It's the any fighter one. It's brilliant. It's distraction and sidestep combined. It's a good card for the Chosen Axes when trying to get on those objectives at the end of the first turn. Similarly, Treasure Lust, push them up to 3 hexes and must end up holding an objective. Gold Boon, it's basically a healing potion for dwarfs. A Great Concussion is in here because I've got Alone in the Darkness in the deck, and maybe I want to get a breathing space. I won't be anticipating playing it at the beginning of the game because I want to get on the objectives, but you never know, it might help if I can get some back in the direction of objectives, and maybe use Treasure Lust to get the third one on. Could be good. Inspiration Strikes, I think this is a brilliant card for the Fire Slayers. It really makes it a little bit easier that first turn, having quite so many amounts, so getting so many on the objectives, but of course if it doesn't come out then it's not much use, but hopefully it will come out towards the beginning of the game. My Turn. Now I think this My Turn and Shargale is pretty tasty. You can Shargale and then move, and again this could be useful if it comes out at the beginning. It could be useful to get on an objective, and will bring down Peak down into killing range. So it's an interesting card with combined with Shargale, which is in here. So that's My Turn is in there, and then I've got Ready for Action. Yes, Ready for Action is back. I think pretty much Ready for Action. Great Concussion goes in all of my decks, and there it is again, Ready for Action. And then finally, as I've said, Shardgale. All fighters suffer 1 damage. I'm fully expecting Pete to run this too, so it could get pretty tasty. Okay, so that's my ploys, and moving on to the upgrades. Activated Runes, which is effectively Awakened Weapon for dwarves. So that's pretty handy. Defiant Strike on Tefk. This is a reaction attack. 3 swords, 1 damage. Could be useful if I can get some great strength or something on him too. For when he's hit, he can hit back, which I quite like the sound of. Great Swing for Vol. This is basically an attack which will get everybody in range. I have to play faction for action. The upgrades for the Fire Slayers aren't great, I don't think. Probably wouldn't take very many of them at all in a standard deck game. So this one is in here. I don't particularly like it. I'm not a big fan of the all adjacent enemy fighters cards. They never seem to come off. A lot of the cards only buff the first attack of the activation, so I find it these ones a little bit underwhelming, but you never know, I suppose. Grimnir's Fortitude, +1 defense for Fjul could be very handy, and Grimnir's Speed +2 move for Fjul also could be very handy for getting those things like Unstoppable Advance, or maybe getting an objective later in the game if he's not inspired yet, but obviously I will be hoping he is. Awakened Weapon, again for re-rolling those dice. Great Fortitude, Great Speed to help propel my troops through into the opposing half, and I did take Great Fortitude very quickly there because you all know what it is. The Great Fortitude was in there too, and of course, as is a Great Strength, that +1 strength. Could be useful not for Fjul, but maybe for one of the others. Shadespire Dagger. Now, Shadespire Dagger is a card I see knocking around when I look at the championship winning decks. I see Shadespire Dagger, and I don't think I've ever played it before, and I can see why it's useful. And actually, I've included it here. Could be good for Maegrim or something like that, or a dwarf that's not, a Fire Slayer that's not inspired, if they to do some serious damage, especially if you can get a crit. Could be good with Awakened Weapon or something like that. And then finally, Soul Trap. Which is a good card. I've come round to Soul Trap over the course of the games we've played. I never used to really like it. I'm not a big fan of 50-50 cards. I like my cards to be, they're going to work, and so I know I can counter them. But having played against Pete a number of times, and he's used it, I've realised actually it acts as quite a good deterrent. Because when he's played games and he's had them on people, I think, well, there isn't really any point in attacking him, or it's a risk attacking him. I might waste a valuable activation, and then he just pops him back up again, and I've done nothing, and then he can hit me in the face. So Soul Trap I include a lot more now, as much as a deterrent card as for its ability to actually do what it's meant to do. So that is the Chosen Axes deck. I hope you like it. Let me know what you think, whether there's anything you'd include, whether there's anything you'd take out. And until the game, I will see you soon.